right. We've got, call this meeting to order. We're gonna do roll call. Roger.
Here.
Jessica. Mike.
Here.
Mark. Nope. Patrick. Nope. Jacob.
Here.
Right. We turn this, I think I have to turn it over to you, right?
Let me just make a motion that I would like to keep the 2025 officer slate the same as 2024.
Yeah. So we have a motion on the table to keep the officers' slate exactly the same for 2025 as it was for 2024. That would be President Don Spazar, Vice President Roger Narwhal, Secretary is,
Me,
you're also Secretary?
yes, Vice President / Secretary.
Treasurer is Jessica.
Right.
Any comments on the motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of the officer slate say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, or stays the same. Congratulations.
That was easy.
Don't we have an oath?
I think we've all taken it out.
Actually, we do. I think it is an annual oath, but we're allowed to,
Okay.
yeah, print it out and just sign it, I think.
Okay. All right.
All right, although I guess you called it to order, but I should have done the roll call with that. My apologies.
Hi, Mr. President.
Secretary and Treasurer. Did I miss a meeting? I'm sorry to do that out of order.
We'll forgive you.
But following the roll, Don Spazar,
I'm here.
Roger Narwhal,
Here.
Jessica Clark,
Present.
Mike Dobson,
Here.
Guest pitch, Pat Matthews.
Here.
Jacob Kwasinski.
Here.
Ex officio for Melcart is vacant.
Yes.
Yes.
President's your meeting.
You'll need to time switch that around. His roll call and running my roll call. All right, moving on to approval of minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the December 5th meeting.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
A second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pat, you want to get out of here at 6:30, you need to be motioning things along here.
Am I the only one?
No, we're out of here before that, if I can.
He just needs the meeting ID. He signs into Zoom.
I've got it where I said.
Then he has to type it all.
Right.
All right, district advisor appointment.
Again, our current list of advisors is Cronin Associates for our financial, JPR for engineer, and Krieg DeVault for our legal services, and then Asbury is our operation or operator.
I make a motion to keep the 4 district advisor appointments the same for 2025.
Second.
I got a second.
Well, that was quick.
Yeah, you get caught on quick there. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're on to financials.
Where it bogs down because I can't read microscopic financial reports. At my old age. All right, our balance as of 12/31/2024 in the general account is 19,029. Believe. In Wyatt it is 124,000 with a deposit in transit of 19,830. In Granger, $464,889 with a deposit in transit of 48,885. And Auten is 82,105 with a deposit in transit of 4,255. Carriage Hills, 149,936. And our claims docket for the month of January totals $100,355.12. Couple things to note. If you look at Carriage Hills, the 2024 balance is lower, but it is because we have a couple checks that are going into deposit plus the errant deposit that went into Auten instead of Carriage Hills. That needs to still be changed because I have to find that receipt. Or I haven't looked for it yet.
Jessica, we have a deposit in transit like Ranger. Is that adding on to the unmetered receipts up and down?
Yes,
Okay,
but technically they're received in December. Asbury holds them in your account down in Indianapolis, and then they make a once a month transfer to First Source. So I don't recognize it until I get it into First Source. So I don't have control over that account, even though it's technically your account.
right.
I've just decided for bookkeeping to show it as money that you have, but it's not in our.
So basically, the board just looks at the deposit in transit and add that then to the number up above.
Into your balance.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Is there any questions? Other questions or motion to
Make a-
approve the docket?
I'll make a motion to approve the claim form docket for $100,355.12.
I have a
Second.
motion, my second,
Second,
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any requests into the district?
Not that I'm aware of.
Customer inquiries? None?
We continue to discuss after sessions with the county and the user who were introduced to a couple meetings ago by
Bill?
Bill Chalio. The conversation is still now. There was kind of a pause for the holidays without much activity, but we have gotten their usage information. The JPR has that. I believe JPR basically waiting for JPR's. Engineering.
so Ken, you have potable, fire, landscaping?
I haven't really given me any information on landscaping demand.
About fire?
Landscape irrigation you're talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah, their, building fire demand is zero.
because they've got some new gel system or foam system,
Right.
right? Okay.
However, we know that, the user, the prospect is only gonna occupy a part of this 1,000-acre site.
Right.
So, we are planning, in the utility analysis to cover 1,000 acres. So they have given us their demand requirements for, domestic water and domestic sewer. Telling us that they do not desire or need, building fire protection. But they do want to be on a campus where fire protection is going to be provided at the street. Just like it would be everywhere else.
Your hydrant.
So, but through a hydrant. So we're basing So we're basing that on our typical approach as to what the demand for fire protection would be out there. You know, we're starting with, for instance, the balance of your subdivision, the entirety of your subdivision. We also thought it would be prudent to consider, like, if the routing of new water main goes out, bittersweet to brick. Goes all the way out.
Brick to Bittersweet South.
I'm sorry, brick
Yeah.
to bittersweet, and then down and across the the toll road. That we would pick up or plan to pick up users that are along the way, so that adds another 32 homes. So. Their demand is 1,000 or 10,000 gallons a day for spread over 5 buildings. Which I think they're underestimating that, but that's what they're giving us. And that's potable water and sewer. So, we believe that we need a plan for the build out of the 1,000 acres, and we're assuming a, you know, fairly low demand number at about 200 gallons per day per acre. And, so using our normal approach to how we would size utilities, I won't go through the formulas with you here today, but for water, for instance, that is taking us to right around 244,000 gallons a day, which is gonna outpace what we currently have.
Right.
Not to say we can't build that into it, but it's outpacing that. We understand that, to provide fire protection, the only way we're gonna be able to do that south of the toll road is through the water tower. So that tower is, gonna be sized the way we would normally typically size a municipal water tower. You know, using, the max day peak demand calculations. And that's rendering a 250,000 gallon a day water, or 250,000 gallons water tower. So, which I think is, you know, there may be some that'll say, well, that's too small for 1,000 acres, but that's kind of what the number works out to. And so, the trick to that is we're gonna have to be able to reach that, with your water system and then move that water up into the tower. And then circulate it through the system, and I think by the time, we're planning on delivering a draft, like at 90% draft for the report on, by the end of the month. But we will also have a briefing memo, that will go out, by next Friday. And we'll have some of this basic information. And, so that's on the water side. The sewer side, we have a little bit more to do, other than I can tell you that the district needs to plan, for that same amount of treatment. You know, we've already accommodated the subdivision lots in your development. The other 32 that are outside of that, if they're along a sewer that we build that we can connect them to, then that's good. But we believe that the total demand for the development plus your site, what we're concentrating on right now, is gonna add another 250,000 gallons of sewer demand for the district.
On top
Either
of,
just
on top of
Said
what we have,
what number?
on top of what you.
Yeah, 250.
which is what,
And
75-ish?
remember, we've got to think about what happens over, you know, the next 20-year planning period, not what's gonna happen immediately.
Right.
So when we're thinking about like, okay, what kind of deals are we gonna strike with a treatment provider, that kind of thing? It wouldn't necessarily, that kind of stuff doesn't have to happen all up front. But on the water side, I'm afraid it might happen. And on the sewer side, you know, maybe we could, you know, either acquire that capacity or build out that capacity as needed. But it still doesn't change the fact that I think, we're gonna plan for it. So,
What was the number again?
about 250,000 gallons a day, water
Okay.
and sewer.
So, 250,000 a day. Plus those 75 we currently produce in Granger.
You're not quite at 75. I think we're reading the meter at the lift station at about 46.
I just want to be a little bit more technical on that. 75 currently. Plus expansion for the hills, plus 250,
No, that would include,
the two, so it's 75 plus 250, and that 250 includes expansion at the hills.
Do you have any,
Expansion within the range of itself.
Right, I mean, we need to be using the 135.
haven't gotten to
Yeah.
that yet. I'm
Yeah.
gonna talk about the growth area that I'm currently studying. But I realize that I've got to go back and determine, okay, who in Granger within the current sub-district isn't served.
Mhm,
So we have to accommodate.
mhm.
And so that's yet to come.
Okay,
So,
the,
but I would say it's a fair guess to say that we have to plan for the build out of what you consider to be the full sub-district of Granger
Mhm.
and this development area. And that's gonna be, on the sewer side in a way, that's gonna be the number we're looking for. How do we accomplish that? So,
Ken, do you have any idea how much the flow from Ottawa is, just Ottawa's number going to? We ever heard that number?
I have that number somewhere. I think, their customer base is significantly larger than the Granger. For some reason, the number 600,000 sticks in my mind. That may be what they've heard. Not what they said.
Yeah, I say, we asked for confirmation of some of that information, have not received it, so we need to follow back up with the city of Elkhart on
So,
that.
In my files, I think I have, I'll try to do that. I can probably find that.
Ken, what we need to know is the balance of that all was about.
Sure.
And we have bought capacity and have options up to what? Oh,
135.
135, that's what I thought was like.
But there is an option to exceed the search.
There's options to exceed within still that 135 of what we've already,
Yeah,
well, I shouldn't say with the surcharge.
it's not.
135 was the total volume capacity that we are able to send right now, because that was their estimated available excess. Yes, there may be more, there may not.
Jessica and I met before. Elkhart. I think it was after the last board. Is that correct?
I
You wanna
I
give-
believe so. You can, that'd be
I
great.
mean, Tori basically said, well, we would be willing to allow you the capacity that we've allowed onto law.
Mhm.
And if we need to exceed that capacity by a little bit for a project, we would consider that.
Mhm.
We would also consider a direct connection, although you're overestimating what we have on the west side of on our outlet system.
Yeah.
I believe it's a 4-inch main.
Right, that was it was, they really don't have the ability to serve that flow with the current infrastructure.
There's not a good western
connection
now.
Is that correct? Yes, do you have the capacity to serve us through the current connection point? But do you also have the ability for us to skip onto lot and come directly to you from east of us?
Right, and that's where the
And that's what
concern
he said.
was.
You're on, what we have on that far western edge of our system is not able to handle your environment. You would have further construction. He said the easiest thing would be to go through your Ontawa agreement and maximize what Ontawa is able to send. He did, I don't think I'm overstating it when I said at the very end, he said, but at the end of the day, sounds like you guys need to start addressing your own sewer system. If you're
Mhm.
developing
Yeah.
1,000 acre site.
So Ken, question, so I can get a pipe the size I need to the county line. How much more pipe do I need to get to a pipe big enough to tie into, to
Well,
say, okay, we'll go direct to,
that's what
that
Cory
was-
said, the pipe is large enough, isn't anywhere near where we go.
oh, okay.
County Road 5 and 10, where on.
So it could be another couple, it could be 10,000 feet or more.
More, I don't recall what he told us, but he was like, oh, you're far away from us, a real main that you could make connection with.
We're probably the closest sewer within a capacity is just west of.
And then, I'm just curious.
legal. So, it's a way,
Mm-hmm.
but
So flipping back the other way, we want to build a treatment plant that can do 300,000 gallons, it sounds like, or more. Can I do that pipe for less?
Probably.
Yeah, but what happens after that?
I don't.
What, I mean, basically,
Because I can take that treatment plant and then spend another bazillion dollars and make it where we're doing 600,000.
The thing about, the thing with interlocal agreements is the whole concept around that is that they should last for the life of the sewer. The problem is that works when you have a definitive service area. If you don't.
No,
You
we
have a
don't.
growing service area.
Yeah, we have an organic one.
And the fact of the matter is the Elkhart also has a growing service area. So they have to be very thoughtful about what they commit to. And regardless of how much you pay them, they still want to be thoughtful about
What they're gonna.
well,
I think what I took away from the conversation was they're very open to continuing to be a utility provider to a district in the near term. But if the plan, as we described it, was developing a 1,000-acre industrial commercial site, they have no interest in the ability to serve that entire.
Yeah,
Whether it's through Envoy or direct.
they'd like not.
so what I'm hearing is part of the utility study needs to price out a treatment plant at the gas ditch discharge point, which is
But is that
about a
even
mile and a half.
Feasible?
This inside our county.
Just gas ditch even conceivable.
It's cost money.
Again, the board needs to have a presentation of the drinking water protection plan information before we go off on the gas ditch.
I would agree. There's been work done in this regard.
Mhm.
That's sitting on the shelf.
Well, who do we contact? Who can I contact about of getting that presentation?
Well, right now it's still in draft form between the county engineer and the health department.
What's the supposed day of being published? Yeah, I knew that was going to be answered.
On the review comments and
That's a chicken and egg. I'm assuming Microsoft's going to answer way sooner than. waiting
Who's
for
the
that.
owner of the study?
Yeah,
Who's paying for the study?
public works. And the county.
Well, then I think we need to request them, just that section.
I am
Of it.
meeting with all three of the commissioners. Because I am getting pressure from the client, they're not naming. To give them definitive will serve. Right? They want
Yes.
will serve before they commit to this project. The Bill and his team are feeling the anxiety because they don't want to lose the project. There are other sites that are being considered that can serve. And so, I think we're still within the time frame, but yes, I am very convinced that the iron is not enough for you to strike on the St. Joseph County.
And I don't believe the recommendation is that there's a wastewater treatment plant at gas ditch
No, I think it would.
It's
be
releasing-
stupid on it.
west. Yes.
I think
So
you
we
gotta
would
go-
pipe it to the river.
What?
I think you have to go to the river.
The gas ditch empties into the St. Joseph River, eventually through Cobus Creek.
Yes, but there wasn't, based on the study, the recommendation is not to go to gas ditch. I don't believe.
Well, let me get the report. and then
Yes,
consider the
please.
engineering And what those environmental limitations are. IDEM's gonna have a lot to say about all of it.
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
But
So we would then need to build a pipe to the river.
You have to have an outfall.
Plant closer to the river.
There were a couple different locations that were looked at. But ultimately, I think St. Joseph River is
Yeah.
the best
Judy
option
Creek
for
is
an
one.
outfall.
The fact of the matter is that IDEM told us that before we built the drainage,
Correct.
we looked hard at whether we could build a wastewater plant. for drainage at that.
Yeah. And that was where they preferred.
Yeah, and
Yes.
Into the
I don't know whether, I
Yes.
don't remember who was all on board at that point. in time.
Don and myself,
Probably the two of us.
he
We-
came in
we actually
afterward.
had to go
but
to Indianapolis
he listened
to
to
meet
the
with them
presentation.
to try and convince them to do the anti-degradation study. And they said, we're not gonna let you do that until you come back with letters from Mishawaka and South Bend, Elkhart, and Knoxville Township saying that they won't allow you to do that. And so we got letters from the other three, but not from all the township. They said, well, they did.
Right.
So that ended the discussion that I had.
Yes, that was the end of that, yeah.
But I think that answer will change.
Exactly.
Given the scope of the service.
Yeah.
They looked at it different now. Districts, regional sewage districts have a lot of rights now that they didn't have. And you have the ability and the right to own a wastewater plant if you want. Just gotta be able to afford to build it.
So then following up on that, I had a conversation with new county attorney Bill Garrett. He said that the commissioners are open discussions on how to cooperate with you for financing. Whether it be tip dollars, whether it be through the county bond rating, which Steve will tell you, like, number three, are gonna be, I don't think we can go it alone. I think we would have to have some agreements in place with county commissioners financially. But I would leave that to Steve. I mean, I would think that at some point, this is gonna be part of your equation, given when the report.
This is, that report has a treatment plant somewhere over like Ironwood, the other end of the Ranger. Which doesn't do us any good at all. No.
What we put on the 900 acres I just got?
That's the information I have. They are asking for a development. Phil here and I are working on a development agreement. That development agreement will include infrastructure. I need to draft it. I need this report drafted.
Was
And then
the-
call a special meeting. to
The
discuss it, because
fact that Mishawaka will supply, but at a cost beyond it being reasonable to the client. That's kind of what we're saying.
Well, and Mishawaka has expressly said, as a matter of fact, as recently as this subdivision that came to see you a couple meetings ago, they have said they do not serve anyone that is not within the city of Mishawaka.
Yeah, they've kind of made that.
An annexation is a requirement for extending Mishawaka utilities beyond Mishawaka.
What about taking care of wastewater from some other utility? Let's get
Because I
back.
asked her the same thing. I asked Chris Jamrose the same thing about, would you be willing to enter into an interlocal agreement with the sewer district? Where the sewer district has the compliance, and she said, absolutely not. They'll take any customers outside of Mishawaka. Municipal.
It's a good thing they don't take federal funds for any other projects.
So.
Just saying. All right. So are we close to wrapped on that
I mean,
for the moment?
for the moment, until the report is out, Bill Ken gets his, gets us more information.
Yeah.
But like I said, you may want to anticipate a special meeting. I might call one. I try to do it by team, so that you guys know what to the meeting, special meeting to have that conversation.
Well, I can only really think of one day this month or one evening this month, depending on what happens tonight, that we won't be able to have a meeting.
Fair, fair. But otherwise, yeah.
Other than that, we're open.
The other two inquiries that died, the one in Mishawaka,
Yeah.
tried to shepherd that and get involved. Why they would want us involved, but we tried, and like I said, Mishawaka shut.
So they're gonna have to get annexed if they want it.
The other, I don't know what happened on the other side. Another project.
Talking on Anderson Road. There hasn't been any further inquiry about it, but
Those are the three I know.
And I'm not sure, looking at the distance, if that would be feasible for them to pump that far or not.
Well, it's not gonna be inexpensive,
No. Okay,
but the density of what they were looking to develop would make it a little more, I mean, more economical,
oh, yeah.
but it's still a good distance.
Cool. All right, moving on to the meeting schedule. Did everybody get that meeting schedule?
Yeah, we sent that out and just wanted to basically have an official approval of the schedule for 2025 for our minutes.
Move that we approve the meeting schedule for
I
twenty
second it.
twenty-five.
I got a motion, I got a second. All those in favor say aye.
I-
Aye.
Moving on. Stranger, I think we pretty much beat that horse. Carriage Hills. See from Dan's report, there wasn't anything in Wyatt.
Dan's, you want to talk about Dan's report? Because it deals with the three. Basically, it looks like he's in need of us to purchase some new E1 pumps. Because some of them are being junked because of their service life is done.
Done yet. Did we buy a number of them like maybe 8-10 months ago?
Yes,
Okay, that's what I thought.
I thought we bought 5,
Yeah.
sticks in my brain.
How many more do you want, Dan?
100 would be good.
Yeah.
How does 8 sound?
Well, it's just getting to the point that some of them are getting so corroded you can't repair them. That
Right.
just eats but as going forward, the new pumps now the portions that are really corroding is the top section of that pump where it's just above the water. And now those are going to be a composite material. So that'll help the life of the pumps. But a lot of the pumps are from 2008, 2009 from the original
Mhm.
projects. So they're really getting to that end. And so I've just a good thing to keep thinking about replacing some periodically as we go. So they're not all the same age again.
Mhm.
We want to maybe set up a replacement schedule where we're buying, 10 every quarter or 8 every quarter or every half. So you can begin to roll them out.
That would be great. That would be great because as they are coming out, we're really having to evaluate them hard. Some of them as we pull the pump, they're so corroded the top of the pump pulls off of the pump when we pull it out of the tank.
Ouch.
So
How about?
So how many would you like to have us approve to order?
I was thinking 10 at a time. And that way, if you get too many, of course, the warranty starts within the warranty is only good for 24 months from date of install or 27 months from date of manufacture.
Okay.
So you don't want to get them sitting there and not be able to use the warranty.
Mhm.
Are they hard to get, Dan?
No, they haven't been. They haven't been. Generally, if you order them, they're a 2 or 3 week turnaround.
I could also approve his expression, place them
As
they
needed.
necessary, so that the warranties are fresh, as opposed to stocking them on the shelf.
Mhm.
The difference is you might get a price break for a quantity.
Yeah, there's probably a quantity break.
Do we know what the quantity break
I was
is?
gonna say, Dan, do you know what the quantity break?
Not off the top of my head, I'd have to just double check with them and I can do that and bring it to the next meeting if that's good.
Well, I guess, why don't we authorize him to purchase up to 10? And if the quantity break is more, then he can bring it to the next meeting to discuss it. If not, he can do his ordering. How does that sound, Dan?
That sounds wonderful.
What's
So I'll-
the price per pump right now that we're seeing?
I'll have to double check again because I do know they were going up after the holidays. So
Estimate? Couple thousand?
36 or 3,900, something like that, a pump. Yeah.
So 10 pumps, we're looking at about 40 grand delivered.
Yes.
I'll make a motion that authorize Dan to purchase 10 new E1 pumps or up to 10 new E1 pumps. How's that, Dan?
That's great. I appreciate
That way it gives you a little flexibility. You can get 5 initially if that's the price break and you can sit on the other 5 or whatever.
Okay, that's fair. That's really fair. I appreciate that.
I'll second that.
I got a second. I got all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hey, Dan, give us an idea where that price break is, because then maybe we can do is just say, look, you can buy, say price breaks at 8, just you can buy 8 every 3 months.
Okay, I will bring that back.
Without
Yeah.
having to come to us, and then if you need, suddenly we had a problem, you can always buy more and let us know. But
All right, I
that way
will
you
do
don't
that.
have to keep begging us for pumps.
Yeah, that's all right.
Dan, did you get an answer on who's gonna fill out the permit for Wyatt?
I did not.
I thought it was gonna be you.
Okay.
If we had them do it.
Also, yeah.
Yeah, we did. I think we did the last one.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
So it will be you.
it is you.
All right.
You
All
win.
right.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, thanks.
The other question I got for Dan is the Capri Restaurant.
Yes.
Um,
We really need to go in, get it cleaned, and then go in and dye test their lines. That's what needs to happen there.
okay,
You need authority, or you have the authority, you need to do that.
I think we have the authority in our ordinance to
Mhm.
go in and check those.
He does.
Okay. Yep.
I think part of the issue is there was another part of that building was a pizza place, I believe, originally. And I think they've moved part of their kitchen up into there. And I don't know if those lines were ever changed or whether they bypassed that tank. So that's something that we've got to look into. And we've been in contact with them constantly, when there's issues and showing them what's going on, but it's not moving along too far.
Do we bill them for cleaning the pump with all that grease?
Yes,
Yeah.
to my knowledge, it gets all rebuilt.
Good.
Yep. Yeah, we told them that's not our problem. It's theirs.
Good.
How do we know it's paid?
Kevin.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
Kevin's billing that.
Okay.
All right, Dan, you got anything else on that?
Nothing on that one.
Double check.
If you saw the report, just thought I'd update you on how much, or down at Wyatt, I guess, how much lack of leachate we've been getting, but at least you have a number to show what we've gotten for the year. So far anyway.
And it's been quiet from their side, right?
Yeah, they've of course been having some change in personnel and that kind of thing, but nothing's moved forward on any kind of update or any kind of upgrade to the plant. That's all been.
And Dan, do you know,
What's that?
are they current on their bill?
I can
Kevin,
speak. I can speak to that. They are now. They just made all the catch up payments.
Good.
So we had an issue with the billing, but they took care of it. I'm expecting the check tomorrow.
Okay.
Checks in the mail.
Checks in the mail, but I looked at their portal and you can see that it was paid.
Ah, okay. All right. Anything else as far as why it goes?
Not that we got everything, still have everything running. I mean, there's some things that need to be done, but we were just holding off on the influent valve from Prairie View to see if they're going to do anything before we spend any money on it. Because that could all change. And that could be an $8,000 or $10,000 repair that I don't think we need to do as long as we can control it at this point. I don't want to have to pay for it twice.
No. Yeah. All right, moving on to Autumn.
I have one Auten thing. I may have brought this up to Jessica a long time ago, but I was contacted by Irish Rentals. They are paying an availability fee of $30 for what's called Auten excess road land, Auten road excess land. The address is 19464 Auten, but that address doesn't exist anywhere. So they want to know if they own this land, it's unbuildable. And they want to know if they have to keep paying this $30.
Who says it's unbuildable?
I think they said it's unbuildable. I can't even find it on the, I can't find it anywhere. The
Well, there-
address.
So part of the subdivision had an area that was not subdivided, but was included in the subdivision, and I think that is that area, but
That's not
I
the,
need to check
they
again.
just subdivided the whole back area.
Did they?
The area that wasn't subdivided, they did subdivide it and they've been building those out.
What was the address again?
19464 Auten Road.
But if it's off of Auten,
So it's got a front lot.
Is that the
Right.
lift station site?
I wonder if it's the lift station.
It could be.
That would make sense.
Lift station on the south side.
But it wasn't a separate lot. I mean, it wouldn't have been built from the first place. I,
It'd just be an easement.
can't look at it from here.
I tried to pull it up on the GIS and I can't find anything on that side of the road.
I can look in the original file. I just want to look at the original addresses that were identified for the sub-district.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that file's upstairs.
19464.
19464.
And they've been paying the $30 availability fee since the beginning.
Well, they haven't.
No, since the beginning.
Different developers started paying the availability fee.
Gotcha.
No, it's not a parcel, it's an easement.
Over that corner house, because according to Apple's map, 19464 is a house.
That's,
There's nothing on the GIS. So if it's that corner, maybe they combined the parcels. Somebody did.
yeah. Let me relook into that one.
Sounds good.
Nothing more for Auden? Report of officers, area plan. County surveyor. County health. And county engineer. Any old business?
I want to touch on the Hess House again. Real quickly.
Don't have health department.
I think at the last meeting, we tabled voting on her exemption. On the new owner's exemption from connection. Because we wanted the health department to do further investigation into what happened with installation of the new septic system.
Yep.
And I believe Mark responded saying there was nothing in the plot.
It was installed without a permit.
There was. Find Mark's email. Were you on that string?
Yeah, I thought I saw that. I think we all were.
Something about they permitted a property, but it was a property down in Lakeville.
Lakeville or something.
Yeah, we do not have a permit on file for that address. The property notes section file maker shows the drain and sewer is active. So this is all off reservation.
So
Oh, it's on the reservation.
is it the flipper company and
Mhm.
Which one was it?
it's Tiffany?
Tiffany Group.
And the septic company that put it in,
Don't know that. I have that note. I'll have to get you that.
I'm wondering if it isn't,
Kevin, have you paused her billing?
Excuse me. No, I haven't paused it. But she hasn't paid either. So it's just accumulating every month. We started the billing effective 6/1/2024.
At what rate?
Just the standard 118.25.
Which is the full connection fee?
Yeah, that's what Hess was paying.
Well, I think her request of you is that you would give her the lower availability fee And then not, right?
I gotta recheck the order. I don't believe residents are subject to the
Yeah, I
availability
don't
fee.
think they have one.
Oh, they don't have, so it is the full amount no matter what.
That's on the ordinance. So
But I would reread it again.
if they're deferred, they didn't pay anything.
Yeah. No one in
Correct.
Granger pays availability fees.
Yeah. Well, for residential.
Yeah,
Residential.
exactly.
Commercial still
They don't.
paid for it.
Commercial's a different ballgame.
Yes.
Let me, I mean, at this point, I'm just trying to get
I
her to a
think
point
what
where she's
we need to
stabilized.
do is let's figure out who the flipper was, because they put a septic in.
Yeah.
And they had a company do it.
Yeah.
And send them both notices from us going, we need to know, we need to see the permit, blah, blah, blah. That
Agreed.
says this was done above board.
Agreed.
And then when they have to go,
Well, they should have had a building department permit as well as the septic permit.
I thought so too, yeah.
I think it's the same, Lakeville, that's why there's.
Maybe, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are
Yeah, 'cause if
you
they got a-
basically
if they got a septic
authorizing me
permit-
to start putting the flipper and the contractor on notice
But they
of
got
their evil deeds and they have a problem?
Yeah.
In the meantime, because this homeowner is largely innocent, are you okay putting her billing on pause? I mean, she's collecting it at
Yeah.
$120 a month for something she's not using at all.
I think in the end, I mean, we don't even know if the septic was put in proper.
Have no idea.
We have no
No one's,
idea.
according to, if according to Mark and the health department's records, there's absolutely no record of this septic system existing.
But not even the initial one.
The initial one, no, because the
No,
initial
that
one
would
was
have
to
been
have
put
been
in long
filled.
before they kept records. I mean, I asked them for the drawings for mine from 30 years ago and they're like, we don't have that.
I'd have no problem abating her monthly
No.
fee and
So I have a motion.
Motion,
Second.
got a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Kevin, can you pause her billing?
Yep.
And I will get in touch with her, but you may want to just send her a thing as well saying that the district's looking into it and we've paused your billing for now.
And let's see if we can't get this flipper.
She knows she's got to come into compliance, but I think if we can get the flipper to pay for her connection and the abandonment of the
Or the
septic.
septic guy who put it in
The contract.
under the cover of darkness. I mean, both of them have a bit of a problem.
Okay, all right, we'll start that process.
flipper pay the monthly bill.
Yeah. All right.
Um,
Any new business?
No, we're still on old business.
Okay.
Sorry about
We
that.
got 10 minutes left.
I know. I have the resolution we talked about last time, changing the bylaws to allow for, although it won't really doesn't matter for a couple of years, because Jacob's so good at showing that. But, this is a resolution amending your bylaws to allow the utility appointment to rotate for joint vote when the current appointment is not here. We had that issue with Elkhart a number of times where Jacob was sitting in the room and couldn't vote on something, and we even had a quorum problem where Jacob was there, and although I do think he counts towards a quorum anyways as an ex officio member.
Possibly.
But I would rather that we clean it up and change the composition section. So if you would allow me to make it a reading, and then I need a unanimous vote. The Board of Trustees shall initially be composed of the 5 trustees, which we all know of. Moving down, in the event that you are cooperating with a utility service provider, you will allow them extra votes or extra seats. You'll create extra seats, which have been done. To the extent any current utility appointment representative fails to attend a meeting of the Board of Trustees and an ex officio member of another utility is present at the meeting, the ex officio member shall fill in for the utility appointment and may be counted for satisfying the quorum requirements of these bylaws and shall be entitled to vote on all matters that come before the Board of Trustees in place of the utility appointment. We also changed the Article 3, Section 1 of the regular meetings to go from the first Thursday of every month to as you see fit, because your schedule does fluctuate the first Thursday of every. So those are the two bylaw changes. Per the terms of the current bylaw, I need a motion to approve of the resolution as drafted. And I need a majority consent for its adoption.
I'll make the motion
I got a
to
motion.
approve the resolution.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
If you would take one of them up there and sign them and send it back to me, I would appreciate it.
Which way is it going? I guess that's.
we gotta start.
Speaking of Hess, I have Hess's attorney asking for a formalized version of his settlement agreement. If you recall, we settled with Hess whereby he wouldn't come after us for the 6 years of payments and we wouldn't go after him for not connecting. It turns out, I think, as we've done our investigation, that Mr. Hess and Mrs. Hess did not have anything to do with the new septic system.
Yeah, I think they're.
So I am comfortable with this. If you guys are comfortable, I would just ask Don to sign it. It simply formalizes what we've already discussed.
That's fine. Anybody have a problem with that? Nope.
And we were to vote on the ordinance for the bills. But we didn't publish notice correctly, so we're gonna get that at the next meeting when there's not a proposal.
I shouldn't read what that was. I'm straight. I can't see it. I can't see that.
George?
Yes.
There's another one for you.
I have one more proposal for you, but it's just a proposal, but I had this conversation with my predecessor, Mr. Studer, the other day. Given some of the topics that are coming up, you are all volunteers, I believe. You may want to consider, you are allowed to pay each other stipends. Most county functions have a stipend attached to them to cover your expenses, the time you put in.
Whoa, wait a minute.
20 years later.
20 years, I got a back pay?
No back. I mean, you could vote back pay in if you want to. You can do whatever you want. It's
You've
your
never
decision.
mentioned that before.
I do think this 2025 is gonna be a demanding year of your time. So you may want to consider that. But other than that, I don't
Give
have.
us some idea, kind of.
Yeah, you
next
want
meeting
me,
is
I'll
what
talk
would
to
be-
Steve and I will look at some other districts.
$99.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have to issue.
Okay.
For both.
I'm limited by social security now, so you can't pay me much.
Steve and I will get you, Steve and I will get you a referral.
I think
Yeah.
I'll have to.
You will
ask
have
for
to abstain.
Advisement and abstain probably.
you will not
because of
get- you will
being
not
involved
get the
with the
funds.
utility.
You are not here in an individual capacity.
And let Steve know I'm coming to see him. All right, moving
all I got.
on, right? Can we move on now? George, you done with old business?
I'm done with old business. Thank
All
you.
right, how about, you don't have any new business?
No
Any new
business.
business?
No new business.
All right. And privilege of the floor? How about a motion for adjournment?
Make that motion.
I got a motion.
Second.
I got a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you for attendance.
Thank you.
My grandson got a second place, wrestling here last Sunday.
Awesome.
It's, no, it's through the wrestling club. It's in
Just in
the
case
state
you were
wrestling.
confused, because I noticed your email, you had no idea there was a game today.
Hope so.
Okay. Awesome.
So, and then he's got another one,
Darn, you're
another one
watching.
going up. on the 19th.
So you-